So Peter and the other disciples started for the tomb. Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. He bent over and looked in at the strips of linen lying there, but did not go in. Then Simon Peter came along behind him and went straight to the tomb. He saw the strips of linen lying there, as well as the cloth that had been wrapped around Jesus' head. The cloth was still lying in its place, separate from the linen. Finally, the other disciple, who had reached the tomb first, also went inside. He saw and believed. They still did not understand from Scripture that Jesus had to rise from the dead.
Mary Magdalene has discovered that Jesus' body has been removed from the tomb. Horrified and terrified, she runs to tell Peter and the disciples. It's hinted at here, but Luke states it clearly. They didn't believe her. In some ways, that's understandable. If someone told you that a recently deceased friend's body had been removed from its grave, you wouldn't believe them either. But there's another reason they might not have believed her. She was female, and in that world, women's words meant nothing. They were considered unreliable witnesses and weren't allowed to speak in courts of law, for example. But remember that even when Thomas met the risen Jesus, he had trouble believing too. The gospel stories make doubt okay. The disciples are not condemned for not believing that Jesus would die and rise again, even though they had lots of preparation by Jesus himself. It was just too big, too much to comprehend. Think about how you react to the story today. Do you accept it in all its detail and rejoice in the gift that the story of the resurrection is? Or do you struggle with it? If it's the first, then give thanks and ask God to help you to live in the way that the resurrection demands. And if it's the second, then why not tell God about your struggles and doubts, giving thanks that you are not the first and you will certainly not be the last.